Are you ready to scale yourself with multiple businesses and support a community? This is the 𝐄𝐦𝐩𝐢𝐲 podcast, where every single week we are bringing in a lot of amazing stories, entrepreneurs, inspiring people who are scaling themselves and their business in one way or the other. And on season 3, we're focused on serial entrepreneurs who have more than one business or growing it, whether with a team or probably on their own, and how they're able to keep showing up every single day. So if you're ready to ditch the grind, let's go ahead and scale you. Now, for our guest today, I don't even need to look up her bio. I don't even need to read through it because I've known this person for about 6-7 years now, 2019. So I've known this person for a while and I've been following her journey, her growth, her success. In 2017, she started FHMoms, or Filipina Homebased Moms, as a Facebook group, mostly to help out other moms like herself as she was exploring how to start working online, how to be a freelancer, and how to keep level head basically while managing a household. And since then has grown to 560,000 members inside of that Facebook group. And beyond that, FHMoms offers courses, training, and she also is a co-founder for a lot of different businesses. Get Hired is a platform where she helps connect a lot of freelancers to people, of course, who want to outsource and hire online. And she has multiple other ones that I'm not probably going to name all of them just because she is a super involved person in helping a lot of Filipinos be able to work from home, which of course is very aligned to my own goals in life. So please help me welcome my amazing friend for almost, I think, 8 years now, MK. Hey, MK.
Hi Lian. Hi everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, I'm excited to finally have you on the 𝐄𝐦𝐩𝐲 podcast. You were one of the people when I thought of this season. I was like, oh, MK has to be on this, just because she's amazing and fantastic at what she does. So for those who are listening in or watching the video and they don't know you yet, so please walk us through kind of how you got started way back before, and then later on we can start going to your businesses. So yeah, tell us more about you.
Again, I'm MK. I transitioned from the BPO industry to freelancing back in 2017. So I'll be celebrating my 8th work anniversary next month. So from customer service, I tried doing virtual assistants as well as social media marketing for different international clients. Some are in the US, in the UK, in Australia. And ever since I started working from home, I always say that it's a huge blessing for someone like me who's a first time parent. So back in the corporate, it's a struggle for me to take care of my family and earn for a living because the traffic here in the Philippines is terrible. I would spend more than 2 hours being stuck in the traffic. When I transitioned to freelancing, it's easier to juggle everything. So the moment I landed my first online job, I established an online community, which is FHMoms, or Filipina Homebased Moms. And that was also the time that I'm trying to figure out what are the other things that I can do, since for many of us who's been working from home for years already, you can agree with me that once you establish your freelancing career, you'll have more time to do other things, right?
Yeah, well, it's funny because I met you 2019, so I remember FHMoms at that point, and I remember that significantly. It was like you just hit 60K.
Right.
First, was it that? Like you were well on the way to the 100K mark at that point. And like I said, I've seen a lot of your growth and your journey since then. So you started with freelancing. What was kind of the next steps? Like, what was kind of would you say? Would you say that FHMoms was the first business of like doing the training, the webinar, or was it something else? What was kind of the first one of like, okay, now I'm an entrepreneur?
It is actually the first registered business because in the past I would sell like different food and non-food items in the office, right?
Mm.
But when I established FHMoms, I don't have any plans of making it like a real business. Because
Mm.
for me, it's just another support group. I just wanted to share what I know about online jobs and be able to help moms like me. So that's the initial goal. And then after a couple of months engaging with our community members, by engagement, back then there's no such term as engagement or
Mm-hmm.
community building. It's just me doing like a regular Facebook live session and then just answering comments, trying to answer all of their messages. So that's what I did without knowing that I'm already doing community building. And after 6 months of engagement, we did our first meetup, and then almost every week I would go to different places in the Philippines. I believe that's 23 cities as well as provinces
Wow.
for our first or second year. So it's crazy. I just enjoyed meeting new people since I'll be working from home.
Mhm.
And I believe it will be lonely for me if I won't go out. And I also experienced that when I was working in my first year, the burnout and all that. So the moment I realized that I can also earn from it, which is through our digital skills training, what I did is, aside from me teaching all of the things that I can teach them, I also collaborated with other mommy trainers
Mhm.
that could help um, discuss topics such as accounting and bookkeeping, social media marketing. But then during the time we registered as sole prop, it was during the pandemic when we decided to transition to becoming a corporation,
Ah.
since we've been getting a lot of support from big brands.
Mhm.
So every time there's an opportunity for me to, work with big brands as well as organizations, because that was also the time I started pitching about FH Moms. I joined a lot of incubators as well as accelerators because I don't know anything about, doing business. I'm
Mm.
an undergrad, and this is my first actual business. So I tried my best to expand my network and to learn from the other startup founders in my second year. So that is how I established FH Moms, through community building and through the network that I gathered both from freelancing and startup industry.
Got it. Amazing. And I know, like you guys have the training, you have the courses. Basically, what other aspects is there to FH Moms? I've seen some of it, but yeah, would love to
Yeah,
know more. Like other than the core two that you started with, and I
yeah,
love that it starts with the community. And I remember
yes,
when we first met, and you said like I want to help Filipino moms be able to work from home. I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. Like I want to work with you on that.
yeah.
Um, so tell us more on so that's courses and training. What else is kind of involved in the day to day of like FH Moms?
hmm So during the pandemic, when we transitioned our business from sole prop to corporation,
Mm.
uh, the first lockdown, we got an inquiry from a BPO client with sites in the US and India as well as in the Philippines, specifically in Cebu.
Mm.
They wanted to hire 200 employees from us, so I was able to help them with that.
Mm.
It was my first time doing mass recruitment because inside the community, what I would usually do is I would just refer the virtual assistant inside our community to my fellow founders. So just one virtual assistant at a time. But this is
Mm.
huge. I mean, this is what 200 virtual assistants coming
Mm.
their way. So when I closed that client, I started promoting the recruitment services as well. We did a lot of internships as well as apprenticeship programs so that we can support that job matching program. And then the same month, since many internet cafe or computer shops had to close, we collaborated with one, and
Mm.
they provided us with computers that can be availed through our computer rent to own program. So that was like a hit.
Mm.
After that, the program stayed. So we are continuing to provide computer rent to own as well as rental. So, for example, if a virtual assistant is in need of a laptop for just a week, then that's possible for us. And With that kind of support, we were able to activate other CSR projects, such as computer and Wi-Fi distribution to mommy beneficiaries through the support of individuals, even celebrities, as well as organizations. We also encourage other companies to give us the refurbished laptop or desktop. So it was really good during the pandemic. A lot of opportunities came in, and we didn't really expect that to happen. That we will accelerate FHMoms. I think many companies accelerated during the pandemic. Many businesses were open and all that. For us, we boosted all of our projects, even our
Mhm.
sales. So that is how we started all of our products as well as services.
Amazing. And I remember seeing that when you got also the first mass hiring. I remember the 200. I remember referring some of my own students
Yeah.
at that time as well, and like sharing it, and like because I remember that was like, oh, that's a big client. And I also remember seeing the rent to own laptops. And I was like, that's so smart. I didn't know the
Yeah.
background of like if you worked with like a computer shops who had to sadly close during the pandemic. That's actually a genius idea because like it's their units are just sitting there. So I love that
Mhm.
it keeps going back to like you listen to the community, you see what they need, you're like, oh, here you go. This is the program we'll create, and of course now you guys have the events. You guys have now
Oh yeah, I
get
forgot
hired.
about the
Yeah,
events.
you have the
I'm glad
events, and
you
you also
mentioned
have.
about the
I'll
events.
remind you about get hired also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with the events, we started with community meetups, right? Like, we would invite 15 up to 50 people in cafe, in restaurants, in co-working spaces. So
Mm-hmm.
I even partnered with this venues, right? For us to be able to provide our meetups as well as training for free.
Mm-hmm.
And then uh, during that time, that weekend. So this was before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So we even organized an event. It was attended by 700 people, and then after that, boom, it's lockdown. So
Mm-hmm.
we no longer create events, right? But after the pandemic, we went back to doing events, and it's bigger. So before, if it's 700, now we were able to gather 2,000 people for
Wow.
our mall events. And then
Mm-hmm.
the Get Hired job fair was attended by 7,000 participants. So it's really good. I mean, in terms of events, if you know me, I just gave birth.
Mm-hmm.
My baby is now turning 1
Mm-hmm.
this April. So during the time that I'm doing the Get Hired job fair event, she's just a few months old. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard. And for our volunteers and core team members, all of us are moms. So imagine, we were able to come up with this big events, despite of us being stay at home most of the time.
Again, I've been following you for forever. I remember seeing that on the amount of people um, that came, and the amount of people that you worked with. Um, that's actually a question that I do want to ask is like with FH Moms, I know you work with a lot of like coaches. You also have the
Mm-hmm.
volunteer, and you also have your actual staff. And then with Get
Yeah.
Hired, which is your hiring platform and the job fair, you also then have a staff or the people that you work with that.
Mm-hmm.
How do you kind of manage both
Mm-hmm.
ways or both sides, or even within like FH Moms, you have the multiple programs where each
Right,
person is kind
right.
of involved in one. How do you
Yeah.
continue to kind of either one make sure that they know what they're supposed to be responsible for, and also kind of
Mm-hmm.
because the two businesses are very intersect, just making sure that they don't overlap too many
Right,
times
right.
and overwhelm your staff as well.
Yeah, that's something that I also tried to, figure out when I joined get hired as a co-founder.
Mm.
So for the longest time, I've been doing a lot of projects as well as client work for FH Moms, and I started working with volunteers first before I created a team, a dedicated team, as apart from the interns as well as volunteers for FH Moms. And then we also have the trainers who's also working with us, right? So with that, I believe since we did a lot of projects, I was able to identify the key people that I'll be working with, even though if it's online. So it's easier for me this time for FH Moms. But when I entered Get Hired, so with FH Moms, I'm the sole founder. With Get Hired, I already have co-founders.
Mm.
So in that kind of setup, it's something new for me. And I accepted the challenge to be one of the co-founders, and then eventually I step up to be the CEO. So before I enter Get Hired, I made sure that it will still be connected so that
Yeah.
people won't get confused. So as you know, with FH Moms, it's focused more on the digital skills training as well as the CSR projects or the
Mm.
events that we do for the moms. So with Get Hired, the moms can still join whatever events as well as services that we have, except this is now open to all gender. I
Mm.
mean, it's open for everybody. Since we're also getting a lot of inquiries from non-moms,
Yeah.
including the dads or the men and the Gen Zs, if they can join. Unfortunately, they cannot join the community because it's open for women. So it's no longer just for moms,
Mm.
since we also uh, for professionals who has been joining our community. So at least now with Get Hired, I can easily lead them to
Mhm.
that platform as well as community. That's how I somewhat differentiate. And Get Hired has its own team as well. I am working with my executive virtual assistant who's helping me with just anything that I'm doing. Apart
Mhm.
from Moms Get Hired, I also work with direct clients, both local and international, which is more of a marketing consultancy. So yeah.
Got it. And one thing that I've curious about that probably a lot of people have asked you is how do you keep yourself like motivated? Like how do you keep yourself like showing up in a lot of different roles that you have? FH Moms Get Hired,
Yeah.
consultant. You also work with different people on like helping them hire. You have different
Yeah.
types of communities also depending on the people. Like I'm a part of your agency group. How do you keep yourself kind of like head above water, basically,
Yeah, yeah,
showing
yeah.
up the way that you do every day?
So people think that I'm always motivated or I'm always active, and because I post on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always show up, you would see me in a lot of events. But to be honest, there was a point that I would feel demotivated. I mean, it's not a happy day all the time. I mean, there was a time that I'm not sure if I would continue doing FH Moms. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure if I will still do this and that. So I would always question myself at some point, and then I would ask my husband if it's still something worth to do. So I would always get his insights on something, and it's really nice to have a very supportive partner to help you whenever you are feeling demotivated and all that, because it happens even for us founders. So in my case, what I would usually do is I'll try my best to still go out. And in the past year, what I would do is I would also attend other events that is not the usual events that I'm organizing. So I would attend, for example, retreat, because in FH Moms we don't usually do retreat. So I would also attend other events that will help me in terms of upskilling or other stuff that I can try that is something new,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe unlock a new hobby, something like that. So that's something that I'm exploring, because for me it's hard to be motivated always, given the things that I would do. uh, that's why it's very important for me and my family to, travel, to go out and just enjoy, because of the workload that I have.
Got it. And I love that, and thank you for kind of being vulnerable there. Of like, I'm not always motivated. I check, and I love you and your hobby so much. Like, your guys' online antics is like my favorite thing to see on my Facebook feed.
Yeah.
I love that you went back to like, hey, you have a good support group, and you do the things outside of it so that you kind of recharge as well. So that's such a good insider kind of behind the scenes of like, because of course, like for us, like everyone else, even though like I know you're behind the scenes, like looking at that, like, oh, MK's doing a bajillion million things every single time. So
Right.
I'll use this time to thank you for being that kind of person, because then it like technically, because you're literally like 1 year older than me. I look at you as an ate of like when I first started also like doing the virtual assistant content. I looked at you and like, oh, this is what MK is doing. Like, I want to inspire people the way that MK inspires people. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you for everything that you do for the community, and everything that the way that you show up is always consistent. Even though, like, I know the times when you've gotten sick, when you're not feeling well, you still show up. So I want to thank you
Yeah.
for that, MK.
Thank
You're an
you, thank
amazing
you.
person in this community, and I know a lot of people share the same sentiment as I do of like, okay,
Thank
MK
you
is
so
our
much.
standard of like how to show up. She's our bar. So thank you. So
Thank you, Leanne. That's so
thank you
sweet.
for sharing all of that, and giving us a little bit of, like I said, behind the scenes and insights on what you do.
Mhm.
If we could duplicate you, if we could, AI has advanced enough where we can replicate you, and you have um, 10 MKs, 20, what, 300? Let's go for 300 as an army. What change, or what would you want to see in the world if you had that much kind of
Mhm.
able to wait to kind of scale yourself?
Yeah. Well, I love the question. I mean, I also get the same question from other people, from friends. So they would ask me, am I still talking to MK, or her AI
This is no
version, something
way.
like that? Because I'm active most of the time, even if you message in the morning or in the evening.
Mm.
So if there's like an opportunity for me to be cloned, because I always tell my friends, even my business network, that I'm always here for you, right?
Mm.
So I wanted the same version of me, who, not really a chatbot, but something like that, except,
Mm.
it understands how I speak to other people, the way I care for them, because that's something that, I always tell our community, that, I want not just myself but everyone, to be respectful to others, to check in how everyone is doing.
Mm.
Yeah. And for our community, it's always like that. I mean, even if we grow times 10, it's important to have that personal connection.
Very true. Very true. I love that. So it's basically just growing more of the having all of the other MKs in the world care a little bit better and a little bit more the
Yeah.
way that you care of people. Thank you so much, MK, for your time today. How can people find you, get to know you, follow you in your journey?
Yes, you can follow me literally anywhere in social media.
Mhm.
You can find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and TikTok. Just search for MK Bertulfo. And if you wanted to collaborate with me, maybe it hiring a virtual assistant, or probably collaborating with, let's say, an event or a project, you can send me an email at mk@fhmoms.com.
Amazing. Again, thank you so much, MK, for all that you do, for how you show up. Where every single person you've touched is grateful to have met you. So thank you so much for your time today, also on the podcast. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
I hope you guys enjoyed that episode with MK. I was definitely grateful to have had the opportunity to have met this amazing woman in person and be able to even thank her during this podcast, because I was just, as she was walking through essentially everything that she's gone through in the last almost 10 years of doing this, I was like, I want to thank her because, she, like I said, she did inspire me all those years ago when I started creating content on YouTube and everywhere else. Because she does what she does, I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and keep growing this kind of community. So I'm grateful that MK has been on this podcast now. And of course, if you guys enjoy this episode, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there. And if you are watching anywhere else, feel free to comment any questions or anything MK and I can respond later on. And if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button wherever you are to make sure that you don't miss any of the future episodes of the 𝐤𝐦𝐻𝐸 podcast. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And remember that small steps matters. And we'll see you in the next episode. Bye!